You're listening to the Options Insider Radio Network. For more quality options programs, visit www.theoptionsinsider.com or search for Options Insider Radio Network in your podcast provider of choice. Listeners can also access all of our programming through our mobile app, available in iTunes and on Google Play.
The options market can be a confusing place. Sorting through the daily avalanche of data, alerts, updates, articles, and analysis to find the most important information is an overwhelming prospect. But now you have help. Welcome to the Options News Rundown, the only program that breaks through the noise to bring you the most important news and information from the world of options. Every day we bring you the top 5 option stories curated by the options experts at theoptionsinsider.com, the premier source for free options information. The Options News Rundown is brought to you by Market Taker Mentoring, the leader in option trader education. Get trader education, daily trade ideas, and more with a free 1-week trial of Market Taker Mentoring's live Advantage group coaching class by visiting markettaker.com/insider. And now it's time to break through the noise. It's time for your Options News Rundown.
Good morning. Today is Thursday, August 16th, 2018. This is your Options News Rundown. I'm Dan Passarelli. Our first story today is from investing.com. It's the top 5 things to know in the market on Thursday. First thing to know is China and U.S. are to resume trade talks. China said it will hold a fresh round of trade talks with the United States and Washington later this month, offering a glimmer of hope for progress in resolving a conflict that has set world markets on edge. A Chinese delegation led by Vice Minister of Commerce Wang Shouwen will meet with U.S. representatives led by Undersecretary of Treasury for International Affairs David Malpass. The Ministry of Commerce said this in a statement on its website. The upcoming meeting, which is lower level compared with 4 previous rounds of talks, comes with the invitation of the U.S., according to the statement. The world's 2 largest economies have implemented several rounds of tit-for-tat tariffs for each other's goods since the start of the year, and have threatened further tariffs on exports worth hundreds of billions of dollars. The second thing to know today is fresh trade talks spur a relief bounce in global stocks. Global stocks were mostly higher following the positive overnight developments between the U.S. and China on the trade front. Asian shares ended mostly lower but paired some of the steeper losses seen earlier amid easing fears of a trade war. The Shanghai Composite Index closed down around 0.6%, having earlier fallen by as much as 1.9%. The third thing to know today is Walmart reports earnings. Walmart is one of the last notable names to report fiscal second quarter results before U.S. markets open, as the earnings season continues to wind down. The retail giant is expected to report earnings of $1.22 per share on revenue of $126.03 billion, according to estimates. U.S. same-store sales are expected to rise 2.2%, excluding gas. The fourth thing to know today is the dollar slips from a 13-month high. Away from equities, the U.S. dollar eased from 13-month highs against a basket of major currencies, as risk aversion eased on news that a Chinese delegation will travel to the U.S. in late August to hold trade talks. The U.S. dollar index was down 0.15% to 96.45, pulling back from 96.76 on Wednesday, which is the most since June 27th of 2017. In the bond market, U.S. Treasury prices ticked lower, pushing yields higher across the curve, with the benchmark 10-year yield ticking up to 2.88%, while the Fed-sensitive 2-year note rose 2.625%. On the data front, investors will get the weekly report on initial jobless claims, as well as data on manufacturing activity from the Philly Fed, and a report on housing starts and building permits for the month of July. Fifth thing to know today is copper leads commodities rebound. In commodity markets, industrial metals such as copper rebounded after a hammering on Wednesday as the potential for a breakthrough in the trade standoff between China and the U.S. boosted appetite for riskier assets. Copper futures jumped 1.8% to $2.60.6 a pound. That's the biggest increase in more than 3 weeks. The red metal slipped to a 14-month low of $2.55.2 a day earlier. Gold was also higher at $1,186.30 an ounce, having dropped to an overnight low of $1,167.10, a level not seen since January of 2017. Today's second story is from MarketWatch.com. The Dow just registered its longest stint in correction territory in nearly 60 years. The Dow Jones Industrial Average notched a dubious distinction on Wednesday as U.S. equity benchmarks fell firmly lower. The blue chip benchmark failed to move 10% above the closing low hit earlier in the year and has now spent the longest period in correction territory, 131 trading sessions, since the 223 sessions in 1961, according to Dow Jones market data. The Dow stands now about 2.8% short of emerging from correction territory after hitting its 2018 closing low of 23,533.20 on March 23rd. It needs to close at 25,886.42 or above that to achieve that goal. The market technician purists believe that an asset must put a new high to officially emerge from the correction phase. Other technicians say that a 10% gain from an asset's low is sufficient to exit correction territory, a characterization that MarketWatch adheres to. Our final story today is from CNBC.com. Movie theater stocks drop on report that Amazon may disrupt their industry next. Amazon may disrupt the movie theater business next. Bloomberg News is reporting Amazon is looking to buy Landmark Theaters. Citing people familiar with the situation, the media outlet said the movie chain's owners are working with investment bank Stephens and talking to other suitors. It added that no decisions have been made and the decisions may not lead to a deal. The news is pressuring other movie chain stocks. AMC Entertainment shares were down 2.2% on Thursday's pre-market session, while Cinemark's stock fell 0.8%. Landmark Theaters was founded in 1974 and has 52 theaters with 252 screens in 27 markets. It's part of the Wagner Cuban companies and co-owned by Todd Wagner and Mark Cuban. Landmark is the largest domestic movie chain focused on independent films, according to its website. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is news you can use for today, Thursday, August 16th, 2018, your Options News Rundown. I'm Dan Passarelli, Trade Smart, and have a great day.
Thank you for listening to the Options News Rundown. To learn more about these stories or any other developments from the world of options, visit www.theoptionsinsider.com, the premier source for free options information. The Options News Rundown is brought to you by Market Taker Mentoring, the leader in option trader education. Get trader education, daily trade ideas, and more with a free 1-week trial of Market Taker Mentoring's live Advantage group coaching class by visiting markettaker.com/insider.
The The preceding program was a production of the Options Insider Radio Network. For more quality options programs, visit www.theoptionsinsider.com or search for Options Insider Radio Network in your podcast provider of choice. Listeners can also access all of our programming through our mobile app, available in iTunes and on Google Play. Don't forget to follow along with your favorite programs and submit your own questions for the hosts at twitter.com/options, facebook.com/theoptionsinsider, or via questions at theoptionsinsider.com.